Family, welcome to another exciting edition of A Shot of Wrestling, The Interviews. If you haven't done so already, follow us on all forms of social media at A Shot of Wrestling on Facebook and Instagram, and Shot of Wrestling No A on Twitter. You can get in contact with us via email as well. That's inbox at ashotofwrestling.com or dial it up 619-343-3005 and leave your comments on A Shot of Wrestling Hotline. And if you're listening to us on YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button and you will be kept to notice of all new episodes coming to you every week. Now, we say it time and time again that wrestling brings us together, and today is no different. Today, we are joined by former Tough Enough contestant and the new Lucha Underground Champion, Marty the Moth Martinez. How are you, champ? Welcome to the show.
Oh, I am doing good. You just better get used to saying it, brother. Because I'm the champ, and I'm going to stay that way for a long time.
Now,
so it feels good. It's good.
I have to be honest with you. I've been a fan of the Lucha Underground product, and I think it came along at just the right time in professional wrestling, because it was a time where, you know, the main product was kind of stale and we needed something more involved with characters and storylines, and it just came at the right time. And then your character just evolved into something that I am glad to say I'm a Marty the Moth guy, you know? How has the evolution of your character for you been?
Very crazy. I love it. I started out literally as a guy begging Dario Cueto for a chance to get in the ring. And now I'm the Lucha Underground champion with two gorgeous butt kickers next to me in Chelsea Green and Mariposa. So the tables have done a full 180 and it's looking good for me, I won't lie.
Well, let's start back from the beginning. When did you fall in love with professional wrestling?
Actually, it was at my grandpa's house when it was the late 90s during the Monday Night Wars. So I didn't know anything about wrestling before that. Not a clue. In fact, I bought my grandpa's house when he passed away, so I'm leaning on the exact wall that I first saw wrestling.
Interesting.
But it was NWO was beating up somebody, so it was late 90s, and I had no idea so much about wrestling that I didn't even know there was like a yellow and red Hulk. Like Hulkamania, had no clue. I always knew like it was the black the Hollywood Hogan. So that's what I started. That's what the people I grew up on and started to realize. I had no idea about the history, the vast history before that. But
okay, so before wrestling, what were you into as a young kid?
Sports and video games. I played football. I had some football scholarships. I played football, wrestling, track, and lacrosse in high school.
Wow.
And pretty much after that, I was video gaming and chasing girls at that time. There wasn't much time before that.
Well, you know, they usually say like the best 4 years of your life are either your college years or your high school years. Which one would you say were your best 4 years of your life?
The last 4 years of my life.
Oh, the last four? Sweet.
Yeah, 100%.
Nice.
And it was weird. I actually joined high school wrestling because I thought it was going to be me jumping off ropes and doing what I do now. And then they handed me a singlet and some ear pads, and I was like, this isn't what I thought it was. But that's the whole reason why I did that.
Did you stick around with it, though?
I did, yeah. I went to state. I don't think I did anything at state because I was more concerned about girls, but I was actually pretty good. I was the team captain for like 3 years or something like that. That was all right, but I was like 145 pounds. So all those people are like, oh, I want to put on weight. I just can't. I'm like, I was 145 pounds in high school, like senior year. So you can do it.
Yeah, no, for sure. Now, you're a pretty ambitious guy. The guys like you make guys like me kind of rethink what we did in our 20s, because you made a lot of adult moves in your early 20s, like buying a house, starting your career as a stockbroker, and breaking into not just the business, but then making it into like the main stage, like as a Tough Enough contestant. Are there any other adult moves or milestones that we've missed there?
I bought a second house. I started a few companies with my supplement company. Twitch isn't really adult, but hey, it's an income stream. I've opened up several other income streams. I've essentially made a brand. Mm-hmm. That's really the most adult thing I think I've done is kind of made whatever brand that I can.
That's
But yeah,
crazy.
bought a house and opened businesses.
Has that kind of upbringing and that kind of goal setting, was that instilled in you as a child by like your parents and your role models, or is it just something that, it's just you who you are?
Actually, a whole lot of personal development. I'm the only one out of in my family who's actually got a college degree or really did much in college. My dad, I just learned he's still working like 51 years at the same job, and he is the hardest worker I know. He's like, I think he even got a plaque for like 25 years of not taking a sick day or something like
What?
that, just
Oh
because
my
he's
gosh.
insane. Yeah, he's one of those hardworking Mexican dudes that
Damn.
that's all he knows. In fact, he can retire now. He should have retired years ago, but that's what he knows is working hard. So I picked that up from him. But really, it's just I always kind of dreamt big. I never really thought I could do it until, to be honest, tough enough.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and ever since, I just haven't looked back, and it's been, like I said, the best 4 years of my life.
Well, now being in best 4 years of your life, what are some of the goals that you have set now for yourself for the next 4 years?
20,000 a month. That's my one of my goals. I'd love to be on Twitch with a great community.
Mm-hmm.
I have I have supplements. I'd love to get them out to more people. Really, it's just expanding my brand is my biggest goals. Helping more people with my supplements and helping more people on Twitch hanging out with me. I'm going to come out with a workout program as well. I
Oh, wow,
really help
that's
as much
cool.
people as possible, doing as much things as I can and putting out as much content as I can so people can make a community and have some fun. That's really my goal at the end is help as many people as I can and doing it by getting exposure through professional wrestling and ripping people apart, stabbing people with forks. Kind of a crazy way to get to the end goal, but if people watch me stab somebody in the face with a fork, maybe they'll watch me play a video game and maybe they'll help themselves with a shirt or
Yeah.
a supplement or maybe change their mindset to actually say, hey, maybe I can lose those extra 10 pounds.
Yeah, no, for
So it's
sure.
a crazy way to get there, but that's kind of the end game.
And all these things that you're doing, they're obviously take a large amount of your time. How do you create the balance between starting these new businesses, being a professional wrestler? I mean, for a long time, you were also a stockbroker. It's not till recently that you put an end to that part of your career. But how do you find the balance?
You make the balance, honestly. I always believe that if you want something, you'll make the time for something,
Mm-hmm.
or if you like, you'll put the effort into it if you really want it. So, like with college and college and work, I just always kind of made it happen. And same with when I was working and professional wrestling, I always just kind of I work and I go straight to the road and I drive 12 hours and wrestle a show, get right back on the road, drive back, go right to work, sometimes straight from the car. Um, it's just I was needed to pay the bills, and that was my stockbroker job, and I needed to chase a dream, and so that was the road time and the fly time. So now that I have had some success in that field and other fields, I've opened up some income streams, and now it's just to the point where I'm working on stuff that I enjoy doing. And
Mm-hmm.
now literally my whole goal in life is just to make as many things that I do involving my girlfriend now. So now we're working out together on Twitch. And then now we're doing the supplement company together on Twitch. Now bring her out to me to Lucha Underground on when we do the finales. It's great when you can actually prioritize your life and like, this is what I really want to do and actually go for it. Most people are
Mm-hmm.
like, I just have to get to Friday.
And I mean, creating a balance also, you mentioned your girlfriend, your lovely girlfriend. I mean, women take time in your schedule as well. So what do you guys like to do for date night, or like how do you keep the romance going in that department?
Well, the good thing and the bad thing about being a professional wrestler is that I'm gone a lot. Um, that gives me a lot of time to miss her
Okay.
and vice versa. But then when we get together, we just really want to spend the time with each other, essentially doing nothing or
Mm,
building something together, like the Twitch, the supplement company, and these different avenues. She has some Marty the Moth workout mats that are going to be coming out because we're doing this stuff working out together, building something together. When you're doing activities with like your best friends, that's really what you want to do in life anyways, hang out with best
Right.
friends and have a good time. So that's what we try to do is just hang out and essentially either build something or do absolutely nothing. And that usually the one that unfortunately usually wins is doing absolutely nothing, just kind of laying there next to each other.
How did you guys meet?
Actually through an old friend. So she used to date a friend for ever, and that was her big crush. And then it just didn't go right. And there was like a year or two where we were both partying around each other, and it just happened. So yeah,
Just happened. A few shots of wrestling, a nice night out, and bada bing, bada boom.
Actually, it's so funny because she doesn't care about wrestling. She doesn't care, oh, you're on this TV show or that TV. She doesn't care about that. She hates that stuff. What was I going to say? I always give her crap because she broke up with her boyfriend, and we started hanging out for about a year. And right before I went to Tough Enough was when we started getting a little bit more serious. And then when I got back, she had like the 2 months or whatever that I was gone, where she could think like, okay, maybe I do like him. So I always give her crap from now on. I'm like, oh, you only liked me since I was on TV on Tough Enough. And she gets so angry because she hates wrestling. She doesn't even like wrestling at all. So that's what makes her so angry. Is like, you only did because I went on TV.
Well, while we're talking about Tough Enough, you were the favorite to win that Tough Enough reboot, and if it wasn't for your ankle injury, and everybody thought you would have won. I always believe that everything happens for a reason. A guy that believes in faith, and everything happens because of a certain design, a certain way. Maybe you're supposed to learn something from these experiences. Do you feel that way? Do you feel like you learned something from that experience and that tough break?
Absolutely, 100%. Actually, I'm so excited about it. My ankle broke that time.
Really?
So excited. Absolutely. Because I was doing very well. And I'm going to go into a psychological thing here.
Go for it.
But I was bullied when I was a kid. So I always had confidence issues. Granted, I graduated from college and bought a house, but that was all stuff my mom told me to do, not stuff that I wanted to really do.
Okay.
I wanted to be a wrestler. So then when I went to WWE Tough Enough, and I was always wrestling, I'd been working for 7 years by that time. When I go there and I stand toe-to-toe to Stone Cold Steve Austin and have that experience, after that he gives me his number and says, hey, you would have won.
Wow.
And I could literally say Stone Cold said so. Because that's what he said. He was like, hey, honestly, you would have won if that wouldn't have happened. Like, okay, that's great. Granted, maybe he could have told that to anybody. But it's something that I took like, hey, I actually could have. And the funny thing about that is going back to the bullying when I was younger, I'm like, oh, crap, I really could have been a WWE superstar professional wrestler. Oh, snap. So that started thinking, well, I had all this time with my ankle broken. Like, what else could I do? And that's where all this stuff came about, where I started seeing like what I really love doing. And that's where I started trying to get out of stockbroking as fast as I could. So does everybody think happen for a reason? Absolutely. And I think without me breaking that ankle, I would have not come to those realizations and actually have the confidence to try these other things that I'm enjoying now. So absolutely.
Gotcha. Now, you mentioned you were growing up in the Attitude Era, and Stone Cold, huge part of that era. How was it having him as a coach?
Oh, fantastic. Actually, so I had to very much compartmentalize, or what's the word, decompartmentalize? There's a word for it. Yeah, something like that. But I had to always focus on, okay, this is my coach and not Stone Cold Steve Austin. There's only a few of my times where we let ourselves down is when John Cena came. And we had a big night we all just ate and actually had some drinks. They didn't want to show that on the Tough Enough because, the man of the company, John Cena, was drinking.
Yeah.
But that was like the only time I actually let myself relax and like, holy crap, I'm here with all this. I'm here at a mansion.
That's insane.
But other than that, I had to like compartmentalize all that. And luckily for me, I was never in the bottom three, so I didn't have to stand face to face when he was trying to make something happen out of me. So that would have been a lot harder. So, but there was definitely a lot of decompartmentalizing.
Now, we've had some people who've been on Tough Enough before on the show, and then there's the aspect of Tough Enough being a television show as well. How much of it did you feel was part TV and part actual a contest to get a WWE contract?
I thought it was definitely real that the people were getting contracts out of that season.
Okay.
I was never told anything as far as like, hey, you should go do this. However, on some interviews, it would be like, Matt Cross, da 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 da. Doesn't this make you angry? I'm like, well, not really. Are you sure this doesn't make you angry? They were trying at the beginning. That was like the first day. They were trying to see what stories they can make. I guess do some inception and see what they can make. But that's as much as I really saw as far as planting or.
Gotcha. In your time, in your short time with Tough Enough in the WWE, I'm sure you mentioned John Cena you crossed paths with. I'm sure there are a lot of other influential people who came around you. Is there anybody who made a big impression on you or you got a lot of guidance from during that time?
Who made a big impression on me was Big Show.
Okay.
When you're back there, everyone's very usually keep to themselves. We're very nice, but Big Show, I'd always go say hi to everybody, and he'd seen me there for 3 shows, and he's actually the reason I got my first WWE tryout was he just saw me at so many places, and he's like, "Where are you from?" And I told him the situation, what was going on, and he's like, and he brought me in and got me my first tryout. So he definitely sticks out to me as a stand-up awesome man.
We hear Big Show's a good guy.
Absolutely. John has always been very, very kind-hearted to John Cena. I'm trying to remember. It's been so long since I've been in the back of the WWE locker room.
He was looking out for you. But
yeah,
you've moved a long way along from the WWE and Tough Enough, and you've done a lot within your time. And Lucha Underground, like I mentioned earlier, came at the right time. It is a TV show with wrestling in it, and like I said, I've been a fan from season 1. Marty the Moth character has been amazing. Does now being champion, does that carry over the same responsibilities as any other promotion does? Like, do you become that locker room leader? Or do you have to step up, and are people coming to you more for advice on how to become that champion?
I feel like everyone's there, like as a team, just really supporting each other. That everyone, I've seen people give each other advice, whether they're champ or whether they're just a mid card or what you say, like a beginning guy coming in, because everyone usually gets their spots. Like I'm the champ now, but I was the first guy wrestling or the guy that lasted 2 minutes a couple seasons ago. And it kind of seems where people kind of get their turns. As long as they just work hard and put on a good show. Like everyone seems like they get their turns, and so everyone kind of seems very supportive of everybody, to be honest. It's one of the only locker rooms that I've actually been to where most of the people are actually like together and not into these separate little cliques where they all hate each other.
Gotcha.
Or fighting for a spot. I never felt like, oh, I'm a target on my back or anything like that ever since I've been the champion now.
Everybody's just very supportive on your success.
Absolutely.
Cool, man. That's good to hear. You have an acting background also. You have a lot of things going on, which is amazing. But your acting career, I'm sure, prepared you for a role in Lucha Underground. Does anybody come to you for advice because you have that background, because you're also, getting into movies and, you're on sets and things like that?
I've had a couple people when it comes to like the acting scenes ask me for advice just because I do have that acting experience. And honestly, I think that acting experience is what made this character really happen, because I've kind of created this own character with the acting. I think without these vignettes, without the vignettes and the success of the vignettes that they had, because the vignettes aren't long at Lucha Underground, which is what I love, but those 30 seconds that are there are usually pretty impactful.
Yes.
And I think these vignettes created exactly what this character is, and that wouldn't have happened without the acting background and the work behind there. So I'm very lucky, actually. It's kind of funny how everything kind of turns out and helps me get to the end goal. So I love how acting finally turned around and became useful for me.
Is there any upcoming projects that you're working on that we could see Martin Casas on?
Yes, absolutely. There is one TV series coming out by Lucre Films. I am playing a essential kind of like a mob boss essentially. So it's kind of fun to get play. I'm always the bad guy in
Okay.
everything. So I don't know, is it my face or what? Do you know? What? Tell me what it is.
You're a great
Um,
heel. You have a great track record of being the bad guy, but the bad guy everybody loves to love.
That's right. Well, actually, I've seen so many comments since I've won the title of people very much not very happy that I won this title. By the way, I've loved it, but I see a lot of unhappy people with it.
Well, do you feel like you're being typecast now in like being that bad guy role, or do you want to do like more like romantic comedies one day?
And honestly, I love being the bad guy.
Okay, good, good. It's good
So
to be the
I
bad
don't
guy.
know if yeah, I don't know if I've really been typecast much except for like, oh, he's the big guy, and usually most movies make the big guys usually dumb jobs.
Yeah.
Um, so I think that'll just come from any big a guy that's worked out a weight once or twice.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as typecasting, I don't think I've really been typecasted. I really love being a bad guy, and that's what they see me as. So I'm okay with it, even if it does happen.
Cool. Now, we were talking about Lucha Underground, and everybody's very supportive. Since it's more around a television production kind of a show, does the talent have the opportunity to contribute creative ideas to what's going to be going on? Or are you guys just kind of just given scripts and like, hey, this is the direction we're going with. You guys go have a great match.
We don't even get scripts, actually. We usually show up at the lobby at 9, get sent to the place. It's a TV show, so holy crap, they have catering. That's not the usual thing at a professional wrestling place.
Oh.
Well, except for like the bigger places.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
uh,
yeah.
but it's super cool. And then we just find out that just like a regular indie show, they write it on a whiteboard and write Puma versus blah, Marty the Moth versus blah. And then when they were doing camera TV checks to kind of explain what story or what they want out of it real quick, and we kind of figure out the rest, to be honest.
Gotcha. Oh, that's pretty cool. Could we ever see
So
Lucha Underground travel?
we did travel with Cricket to I think there was like 2 California places, and then we went to a place in Houston, which is I believe where El Rey is. So
Mm-hmm.
we have traveled before, but it was on Cricket's idea / their dime. So
Got it.
it's happened. So never say never.
Yeah, I would love to see that all the way on the East Coast. That'd be great. Now, traveling as a wrestler is a big part of your life, and by now you must be a pro at it. You know, you must know how to be the perfect packer, never miss a flight. You know, any tips that you have for people who need help traveling?
If you travel frequently, I highly suggest people get the it's like $80 a month, but it's or not a month. I'm sorry, $80 a year, but it's the not the pre-check. It's the one past that clear. If you guys have it at your airport, in New York, that definitely should have clear. If you guys have clear at
Yeah,
your
we
airport
do
there,
have clear, and we have I don't know. It's like you go straight through.
pre-check.
Yeah, pre-check.
Yep, I
Yeah.
got both of those. Oh my god, that thing has saved me so many times.
Really?
Uh,
My
so
wife's
I'm
been like killing me to do it because she just recently got it because she travels for work and stuff. And I'm like, I don't need it. You know, I kind of like arriving to the gate early. I'm expecting the long line. I like getting there 4 hours early so I could chill out by the bar before I board my flight.
oh,
You know,
there we go.
but she's like, no, I want to get. You know, I got things to do. I want to get there like 2 hours before the flight. Just go right through everyone and get to the plane.
I don't think I usually go an hour. Granted, I've missed some flights, but that's not because of the hour thing. I usually go an hour or 2 hours before the flight, depending on which airport it is. In Utah, I can go an hour and be just fine to the airport. So that pre-check thing, I just slide right in. I don't even have to bring out my ID anymore. So it gets you through so fast. If you're a traveler, a long time or extensive traveler, I highly recommend that.
Yeah.
And a good pair of headphones if you're not, either way.
I might have to just swallow the bullet and just do it. I hear that there's
See,
like
but you
interviews.
like to drink at the bar, man. If you drink at the bar, then there's no point. You're not in a rush to get there
No,
anyway.
I'm not. I kind of just like to lay back, you know? I
So
love
it's
it.
not a big rush for you. For me, I literally just want to get to the gate, and I love being there early, but at the gate, I feel like stupid if I'm not at the gate by a certain time. I have to go there first no matter what, so I know
Mhm.
exactly where the gate is, or else I will miss it. And I recommend it to anybody. Find your gate first. and then go do whatever the heck you're going to do.
Yes.
And then so now you know how to get back to it. Because I
Yes.
found so many times where it's like, oh, snap, I thought it would be right here.
Well, this show is a show from the fans and to the fans. And what kind of fans would we not be if we didn't go to a few WrestleManias? So from going to all these WrestleManias, we kind of learn like the do's and don'ts on travel. So for example, like you said, find your gate first and then do whatever else you need to do. When we first started doing these trips, we would go and like find a cool restaurant to eat, be like, oh, this is the last time we're going to be in this city. Let's go to that restaurant we didn't go to. And then we're rushing not just to the gate, but we're rushing to the airport to trade in the car, get on the flight. It's crazy. So always find your gate first.
Absolutely.
Go straight to the airport.
So many times.
Go straight to the airport. What do you do to unwind? You mentioned you're a very busy guy. You have all these businesses. When it's downtime, what do you do?
What is downtime? That's a great question.
Well, the new WWE 2K19 video game's coming out. Is that something you're going to do on your downtime?
Absolutely. Actually, it's not even downtime anymore because now I'm going to start doing that on Twitch.
Okay.
And now I'm doing my workouts on Twitch. So I'm actually going to be. Can I announce something here? Maybe you guys, your followers who are on PlayStation, could participate or help.
Yeah, go for it.
Basically, the new WWE game comes out next week. I play it on the PlayStation. Now, back in the day, I loved creating myself. I won't even lie. Everyone loves creating and seeing their own character in the games, right?
Hell yeah.
But now it has gotten so advanced. There's no way that I want to go spend that many hours putting in.
You're right.
I was good. Like, it takes so much hours to put it away or to make it look good and then put the moves in there. So I would love to hold a contest for those of you on PlayStation. If you guys are creating Lucha Underground characters and you guys are going to create Marty the Moth, I want to see your best Marty the Moth. If your Marty the Moth is better than everyone else's that sends it to me, that means moves or whatever, just impress me because I'm going to change it and my girlfriend's going to make it her own anyway. But if you win, I'm actually going to send you a free Lucha Championship t-shirt that just came out a couple weeks ago when I won. And I'm going to be downloading your characters. That's the one I'm going to be playing with for the rest of this game duration. So if you guys are going to be creating Lucha Underground characters, create Marty the Moth. Send me some pictures on social media, and I'll go check it out. Remember, it's only on PlayStation. And I'm going to find a way to get you guys to participate and get you guys some free merch if you guys win.
That's awesome. It's like a game within the game. Like the whole creating your character, creating your entrances. It's gotten so intricate. Like literally you could spend hours. And you don't have all that time. I love that you're letting everybody else do it for you. I could create a hell of a Marty the Moth.
See, that's what I'm saying. And people, and it's also super, super fun to see what people think of me. Like I was playing WWE 2K18. I don't have the game, but we were playing it in Spokane, Washington on my last show at the after party. And yeah, that's my after party, everybody now. I play video games. And I saw WWE 2K, and they had already downloaded it, and I was fat as hell. And then there was one that had a version of me where it was just after I got my hair cut, which I thought was creative as all hell, where my hair, like some of it was on the side, the middle was just completely cut off. The imagination of what some people can do. That's why I love seeing what people can do on these characters.
Yeah, that's so cool, man. That's so cool. Are there any other video games you play? Or like, do you read comic books on your downtime, watch movies?
I love movies. So I love honestly, my whole life is essentially movies and video games and wrestling. Mm-hmm. So now I'm trying to find as many ways as possible to make a community out of all those. I love the superheroes. I straight up love superheroes, but I hate reading, to be honest. I don't have time to sit and read.
Right.
Any of the books that I read, I don't actually read them. I put them on Audible and I listen to them during my workouts or while I'm traveling.
I love Audible books.
Oh my gosh!
I raved about it on the show. I listened to the Brooklyn Brawler audiobook, and it is just so much better. You got Brooklyn Brawler talking to you about his stories. It's like just a whole different experience. Now you could have your imagination and you're reading the pages, but there's no way you're going to recreate Brooklyn Brawler's tone and speech while you're reading your book.
And
Audibles.
that's the
They're the
favorite
greats.
part I love about Audible is when it's actually like the author or like there's a good narrator behind it. You get into that, right? It's so much better than
Hell
just
yeah.
reading it yourself.
The Insane Clown Posse has a good audible book out too.
Really? Is
Oh
that
my
like a
god.
documentary?
They're insane. Like that's an experience on its own. That's an
Really? Is that
experience.
like
Yeah.
the wrestling experience, or is that like their life and music, or what is that
It's
about?
everything. But three of their chapters in the middle of that Audible book go through their time in the WWE and all the backstories, and it just goes on. Like they're literally telling you the story, and they like, are reliving those moments as they're coming to them. Like there's no way that you could ever read and have that same inflection in their voice and in the way that they're saying things. It like I said, it's truly an experience.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I love reading books too because it's like you're learning from somebody who's already had to go through it, so I don't screw up with the same mistakes that they did.
Right. Now, we mentioned before, we're in the East Coast, Northeast. Scene, the indie scene is blowing up around here with promotions like CZW, GCW, but there's just sprawling out, a la pro wrestling. And how's the wrestling scene where you are? Because you mentioned you're from Utah. How's it
Yep.
over there in 2018?
Absolutely horrible. As far as a state,
Okay.
there is one wrestling promotion that pretty much was the one that I came up with, or that I came up from. I'm not the one I came up with.
Okay.
But the one that brought me up, there's that one, and literally that's the only school around. The
Wow.
the closest other school is 8 hours to Denver, or Vegas is 6 hours.
Marty. So listen, you're trying to make it as a pro wrestler. Your town, your state only has one wrestling school. Why stay in a town that doesn't have that wrestling support in that wrestling community, where you could go to other locations that are just filled with promotions where you could really get a lot more action, a lot more ring time in.
I already had such. My whole thing was I was trying to get a. My parents told me I needed to get a college degree and I'm going to buy a house, and then that was my whole focus until I got that done. That nothing else really was a big focus or anything. So, and then I realized, oh snap, I bought a house already, and now
Mm,
stuck in Utah. So I bought my first house when I was 24. So like. It was just something that was already happened. I didn't even realize. Oh my gosh, I could have undone that. So by the time I had thought about that, that is something that was in my head is, man, I should just move to make this happen. But I would already bought in a house. Actually, those things actually started going around because the crappy thing about having one place in Utah is you only get trained one place in Utah. I
mm-hmm.
actually wasn't aware that there was really other wrestling outside of the WWE at that time. Anywhere else, I didn't know there was an independent scene.
Interesting.
So it's not like some WWE legend came down and started teaching people here in Utah. There's these guys that started a school. It got me to where I am, but it's not like there's been someone who's laid the path for me. So I had no idea about the indie scene. So for the first 5 years of my life, I feel like I totally were wasted because I wasn't growing any. I was wrestling one match a month and practicing 6 days a week.
Gotcha. Well, you set your roots down there, and I'm sure the purchase of a home in Utah is going to be a completely different price than a purchase home in New York City, because the
Oh my
prices
dear.
out here are insane. They're disgusting, like literally disgusting. I'm like, why do I live here? I need to move. I see my friends in other places and the huge houses that they have, and I'm like here in like a 2-bedroom apartment that's spacious for New York standards, I must say. But damn, it's insane.
And that's another reason why. Just because
It's
where
true.
is wrestling the hottest in California and on the East Coast? So where am I going to move that I'm not going to be eating, crapping, and sleeping in the exact same room?
Yeah. Let's talk about one of your other businesses right now. Your supplements. You mentioned them a couple of times throughout our conversation. Fill me in on how you got involved with them. What's the story behind them? Because I got one, and I can't wait to tell you about it.
Oh, okay. I'm so excited for that. Actually, I'm super glad that you tried that. So I've been actually only been public about it recently. I haven't really been hiding it, but I haven't really been saying much either. I have Lyme disease. It's a disease that really screws you up, and it took me a decade and plus more to try and figure out what the hell it is.
Mm-hmm.
I was diagnosed with like ADHD, depression, all sorts of diagnoses. If you know anything about Lyme disease, it's not a lot of, unfortunately, not enough is known about it. But long story short, I had no energy. I had brain fog like crazy. It was kind of like when you wake up in the morning and you're like doing your systems checks, like, okay, I'm home. My name is Martin. What do I need to do today? That's kind of where I was, like 24/7.
Wow.
I was just very tired and very brain foggy. So I was really big into energy drinks because I needed to wake up and I needed to go. I had school to go to. I had to go to wrestling training. And eventually, after thousands of doctors and thousands of freaking dollars trying to figure it out, we found out it's actually Lyme disease.
At what age did you find that out?
This was literally like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago.
Oh, wow. So you went through your whole college career with that fog, buying houses, being a stockbroker, which are very tasking things to do and accomplish, and being tired all the time. Like, wow, that's insane.
They gave me because they gave me a diagnosis of ADHD. They gave me a prescription of Adderall too.
Oh, man.
So between energy drinks, Adderall for my brain, and actually pre-workout to try and stay awake. It was just, but yeah, it was a whole decade of like my college years were really effective, and the years after that until really 2 years ago is when I finally got the diagnosis of what it actually is. That basically, long story short, is my guts hates me all the time as well. I have no immune system because it wasn't really absorbing anything. And when your guts are bad, your guts control your immune system. So I was sick all the time too.
Mm-hmm.
My friend actually let me use some of these supplements. It was the energy one.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like, holy shit, how can I get into this? And so because of this, and it was clean, it uses this thing called liposomes, where if everyone says, hey, my supplement's great, well, that's great. Mine uses liposomes. It's the exact same technology that was in my Adderall. It's the pharmaceutical technology that is in all those drugs. So it uses that technology. We have a patent on that technology. So basically, instead of, if you ever take a multivitamin and gotten like a stomach ache, or like you felt sick, if you ever taken a multivitamin on an empty stomach, or if you're taking multivitamins and your pee comes out a funny color, well, it's just your body's not absorbing a lot of it. Because of these liposomes, it got through my stomach, and basically the stuff that I've been taking, I've actually been absorbing, and it's actually been working on me. So instead of 7 energy drinks and a pre-workout just to be awake that day, I've just taken 2 V3s. And it's all organic, all natural. Instead of me having to take Adderall, which there's Adderall in there, which is it's great, but it's also there's long-term effects too. I take neuro, so I'm off of that. I took it to my doctor. I took all this stuff to my doctor, and I said, "Tell me what this is versus these 19 pills that I'm taking right now," because I had two pill boxes of stuff that I was taking. So I'm sorry, this is a long story, but this is what happened to me, and this is why I 100% believe in this, because without these, I don't know if I'd be where I am, because those college and high school years were really tough, really tiring. There was so much that happened that I didn't take advantage of, and my health was so bad. I don't think, honestly, I would have been here without this stuff. So even if I was, I don't know if I'd be to the level of success that I've been to.
Right.
So this stuff is really kind of taken my life to another level. So I just said, I need to get into this. And this is where I just started selling them to anyone who would essentially look at them, because it helps people. So it's just like going to a Marvel movie. When you say a Marvel movie, it works really good, and the movie, and the Infinity War is awesome, you tell somebody about it. So that's exactly what happened to me.
Well, Infinity War is awesome, by the way.
It is probably my favorite movie of all time, man.
It is.
For real.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing. I helped my friend's mom lose 50 pounds. My friend right here, Robert, is sitting in the room with me. He's looking so much better, long story short.
Yeah.
So you asked about the supplements. Yes, that's why I got into them. That's why they mean so much to me, because they've helped me so much.
Right. You're speaking from experience. So you have supplements for weight loss? And
we do have supplements for weight loss. We have supplements for weight loss, for better energy, for a multivitamin, which I will throw that multivitamin against anybody and say I will prove 2 months better. And we have stuff for anti-aging as well. There's going to be even
Oh,
better stuff
sweet.
coming out for that. There's stuff for detox. We have a lot of the stuff that a lot of people are taking. And my favorite, sleep,
Dude,
which
that's
it
the
sounds
one
like
I
you
got.
took.
So let me tell you about that because
Okay.
when we started a conversation before we got on a shot of wrestling, you told me about these supplements and I looked through them and I was skeptical. I gotta be honest. I was like, and the one that I was skeptical the most on was the sleep one. I was like, how is this gonna make me have a better night's sleep? I don't get it. I don't get what's in it. I mean, I don't suffer. I wouldn't say I suffer from bad night's sleep, but what I told you is, I have a son. He's 2 years old now. So for the past 2 years, the regimen that I've been in has been a lot different than what I've been used to. So instead of like sleeping till 10 a.m., 11 a.m., because I'm partying out too much, I'm waking up with a crying baby at 6 a.m. in the morning and he goes to sleep at 8. But I don't go to sleep till like 12 or 1. So just like that kind of regimen, I'm always dragging. And then I go to work and I'm dragging there. I'm not a morning person. And I tell my wife this all the time. I'm like, dude, I'm just not a morning person. Until I took this supplement and I just took it last night. I was like, maybe I am a morning person, but I'm just like my body, like I'm just so used to saying I'm not a morning person because first of all, I took it right before I went to sleep. It within minutes, I already started feeling like a little bit more relaxed. Like I wanted to just lay in bed and just like sleep away. I didn't get much sleep. I got 5 hours, but I woke up feeling refreshed, awake, like ready to go. I woke up before my son woke up and I was like, wait a second. Like I usually wake up when the baby starts crying and I go to the room and I pick him up, but I'm awake before he wakes up and I'm like awake. I'm not like dragging. I'm ready to start my day. I'm like, maybe there's something here. So it was amazing and I can't wait to get like more of it. And now it just makes me a believer on like the rest of the products that you do have because I want to, you're having success with it and your buddy's having success with it. Again, I'm not like completely dissatisfied with my appearance or the weight loss, but everyone could always be a little healthier, you know? So I think
Absolutely.
that's awesome. I
And it's
love it.
great because you can't argue with science, and that's what this is. It's the liposome science. It just makes it work. So I love that it's helped. So admit, like I personally, I was saying before this is I with Lyme disease, I do not have a problem going to sleep. I could fall asleep right now and be totally fine.
Mm-hmm.
It's just it's just waking up was so hard for me to do. I'd stay in bed till 11 o'clock. In fact, I personally got my job out of stockbroking and worked to a position where I had an outbound calling people every day, and which by the way sucked. But I got to there so I could stay in bed all day. But because I
Right.
started taking this, I started waking up at a normal time, and it was amazing. Made me feel refreshed. Freaking science. Can't argue with science, right?
No, it feels good. I thank you for it. I thank you for introducing me to it. For those out there, give us the information where we could get some of this great stuff.
Absolutely. In fact, for anyone trying to get in any sort of shape, get better sleep or anything, I actually have my Twitch and and a Facebook group for those of you who are actually trying to lose weight. It shows my diet. It shows my workouts. It shows my whole life's an open book. Go to martincasaus.com/supplement. You're going to see everything on there from my Facebook group. You can all join. I highly encourage you to join. Just say, hey, I sent you down there so that people know.
Mm-hmm.
And then it tells you the recipes that my girl uses to cook. I'm so lucky I don't have to cook anything anymore. My girl's so good.
A way
And
to a man's heart is through their stomach, man.
and it works.
Amen to that. I married a Puerto Rican woman, and
Oof.
definitely enjoy her cooking.
You got some spicy food in there?
Oh, a little bit of everything, Papa.
There it is. But
That's
martincasaus.com, just go to martincasaus.com. All my stuff's there. In fact, if you go join my newsletter, when I get a newsletter out, I'm going to actually be putting 10% off on everything, just if you put on yourself in that newsletter. So, and that'll just be information like, hey, I won the championship. I really need to get a newsletter out.
that's awesome.
But yes, you'll win free stuff if you go to my website.
That's awesome. And we've mentioned it throughout the show. Twitch is the next big thing that a lot of people are joining, and you have a lot of content that you're going to be putting out through it. So, what was your gravitation to get your Twitch community moving along?
Honestly, it was my YouTube. I wanted to build my YouTube up. And my YouTube right now is I'm showing my wrestling vlogs, my time at WrestleCon, my WrestleMania weekend.
Hell yeah.
People are always asking me what it's like to be a wrestler. So I figured I'd throw it up on YouTube. But YouTube, you can't just throw something on there and all of a sudden millions of people see it. It has to grow. So I was trying to grow it with Twitch, like playing some video games because I love playing video games. And then it just got to the point where Twitch became a lot more fun versus sitting behind the editing bay and just editing for hours and hours and not really seeing my girl. But now I'm actually getting to play video games with my girl because she's a gamer too. She likes being co-op and doing all the sciencey stuff.
She's
so
a
it's great
keeper.
to spend time, right?
She's a keeper, Marty.
Exactly. It's people are mentioning it now. I think she's starting to realize it. So now I gotta maybe up my game a little.
Awesome.
But I get to do that with her, and Twitch just became so fun that I might just actually change my focus to Twitch being the one instead of YouTube.
Awesome. Well, we want to follow you along in your journey. So you've already mentioned your website. Is there any other forms of social media that you're on? You have your YouTube channel. Your vlogs are really freaking cool. I love your WrestleMania week blog. And if anybody who didn't make it to New Orleans, you kind of wrap up essentially what the chaos on the streets of New Orleans really was. It's insane.
It was insane. And just the atmosphere on WrestleMania weekend is something everyone needs to experience once if you're a wrestling fan. I definitely recommend it.
Yeah. Well, New York is coming up, so I hope to see you in our area very soon. But is there any other social medias that we could grab onto?
Absolutely. I'm literally everywhere. I'm in your face somewhere if you're on the internet. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I'm on all of them at Martin Casaus. I'm on Ring Warriors on WGN America if you watch on Saturdays. That's a 52-episode wrestling program. So there's another wrestling program that's running all year long. It just happens to be on Saturdays. So I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Really, my website is where I'm taking everything buddy too, because then you can win free stuff. My Twitch is on there. My YouTube's on my site. All my social medias are on my site, martincasaus.com. So check that thing out. Leave me a message on anything. I usually do reply back. If not, if you're just going to send me something weird, I'm just going to heart it just to let you know I read it. But still, I'm very responsive for my fans, so please find me, write me, tell me what you like in the world. I'd be curious to see what kind of fun stuff we can all come up together.
Awesome, champ. Thank you so much for joining us, but we're not done with you yet. We still got a few things to get out of the way, but we got last call. Do you mind sticking around for that?
Oh, good. Stay tuned until the end of this episode for Last Call with Marty and Moth. That'll be fun.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time I need to announce it's last call at the bar.
Oh. This is how it works. It's rapid fire questions. The first thing that comes to your mind is the first thing you should answer. Are you ready?
Oh, this is going to be bad. All right.
All right. What is your favorite adult beverage?
Whiskey.
What is the worst hotel you've ever stayed at?
Probably, I don't know the name of it, to be honest. I stayed in a lot of hotels.
All right, we'll pass on that one. Who is your favorite comic book hero?
I want to say Superman because Superman's my guy, but I got to go with Batman this time.
Other than wrestling, what is your favorite sport?
Football or lacrosse.
What is the most annoying bad habit people have?
Not thinking they can do what they really want to do.
What is the best feature on a woman?
I'm a boob guy.
Who is your celebrity crush?
Sandra Bullock.
Are you a dog person or a cat person?
I got two lovely dogs here.
Nice. And finally, what is your go-to karaoke song?
Ooh, I absolutely hate karaoke.
What?
I could go up there. I can go up there in front of millions on Raw and talk smack on the microphone, but you get me in front of karaoke, that shit's scary to me for some reason. I just don't like singing in front of people. Don't get it, don't like it. I don't know.
Marty, we've had a great time with you on the show, but I don't know if you're still our friend now after not liking karaoke. But thank you very much for joining us, champ. Look forward to continuing following your great career, man.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me, my brother.
Hey, baby, I hear the bell ringing, hip tosses and body slams. Oh my. And maybe you seem a bit confused, yeah baby, but I got you pinned. Ha 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 ha. But I don't know what to do when I see them with that golden case. They're cashing it in. Authority all in my face. What is a man to do? Good night, everybody.
This is Marty Moth Martinez, and if you want more shots of wrestling, listen to a Shot of Wrestling podcast on V Plus Player Radio. New episodes every Monday.